I'm sorry, wait? What's your talent? Oh, critiquing my talent. Bitch, I don't know who the fuck you are to give a subpar bar or even have an opinion or view. You mention me, millions of views, attention and news. I mention you, Lulu's for me, win-win for you.
It's my man. Marshall Mathers.
It is Marshall Mathers. I just enjoyed that, what's your talent, critiquing my talent, because it brought me back, Harley, it brought me back to a certain Daniel Cuntledge.
Oh, yep.
Who reviewed us, who gave us a scathing review of the
I
zombie
Survived
film,
a Zombie Holocaust,
which we read out here on the podcast a little while ago. After a year or so of being too traumatized by it,
Did we actually read it out on?
Yeah, we read it out on here.
Go back and find that.
So you can go back and find that little gem somewhere in the archives. But it reminded me of him because at the end of the day, here we go, Beersies. I'm Guy Pigden, by the way.
Yeah, and I'm Harley Neville. Welcome to the Guy and Harley podcast.
But yes, that lyric reminded me of him, because essentially that's what he was doing, because he has no talent.
Yes. And
also, look, at the end of the day, if you write like a kind of a hatchet job on a movie, on any movie, look, I'm more likely to read that than a good review. Like, like a good review, like, cool, okay, well, I guess I'll go see it. But like a scathing review where you kind of, destroy a film, you're like, it's funny because they're bad and
so you got a cheap laugh at our expense.
Yeah.
And heightened views probably.
Now, what makes me mad?
We're still angry.
Oh, obviously, I am still angry.
The movie came out in 2015 and got a terrible review from Daniel.
One person. No, I got a few.
Cuntledge.
Yeah.
A local critic. 3 years later, Guy's still fuming.
Still fuming about it.
Multiple times on the podcast.
We've mentioned it.
We've raved about it.
Yes.
But do continue.
But I will, if I may. Thank you.
Okay.
What is the shame of all of this is not the review itself, although that was definitely not helpful for us as budding young filmmakers with what should have been a great new zombie film for the New Zealand masses to enjoy if they weren't put off by this horrible review from the most mainstream media that we got. So yeah, that wasn't great.
No.
But the other thing that wasn't great is that it's the power that he has over me. He doesn't remember me.
No.
If I said Guy Pigden, Guy Pigden, he would probably go, no, I don't know who that is.
Well, nobody knows who you are.
Well, I know, but like, do you remember Guy Pigden? I don't think he'd go, oh yeah, that really shitty review I wrote. He would go, no, but I remember him, and he has stayed and will live with me until eternity.
Nah, only until you make a film that he has to give an amazing review to.
He won't do it.
He will.
He won't do it.
You've got to believe in the good in people.
Well, I'll get to that later. But
when Older comes out, he'll have no choice but to write a raving
I'm not
review.
looking forward to that review.
A raving review. I'm going to send it to him specifically.
No, he's barred from our press screenings. He's banned. When that's what big shot filmmakers do. Is if they get a shitty review from somewhere, they have like a ban list of sorry, you put a bad review. No, sorry, you can't come to our next one.
Yeah.
Guess what, Daniel? Banned. So you can just forget about reviewing this little indie film, this little magical indie film. Just fucking forget about it, mate.
It's the next.
I hope I dash your dreams like.
It's the next before sunset.
Yeah.
Or after sunrise.
Or
from dusk till dawn.
It was
or whatever it is.
It was originally the next before sunrise.
Yeah.
And now, due to the time it's taken, has become the next after sunset.
You really cracked yourself up there on that one, eh?
It's a little nerdy humor for those familiar with those films. A little bit of nerdy humor. 10-year.
Was that dad joke number 1 or
10-year gap between those? So if you see what I'm getting at, because of the passage of time.
Dad joke number 1 came out of left field this episode. The usual suspect.
You weren't expecting it. So welcome along to the podcast. What's been going on, Harley?
Well, all sorts. I had an audition. Wait, stop. No, stop. Cut. You don't need to play the thing. Stop. It's fine. I stunk up the place. Completely blew it. Forgot my lines.
Yep.
Like, I was halfway through a take and I was like...
Mind blank.
And then I was like, fucking sorry. Can we go again? And then we just like went again a few times. I got through it all, but it was just pretty shitty. And normally that doesn't really happen to me very often. But in this particular case, it's just too busy. I'd like flown in that morning from Show Me Shorts Film Festival and then gone directly to the audition. And then I had to be at work like 20 minutes later, and they were 20 minutes late, which meant I was late for work as well. So I had all of that going on. Blew it. But yeah, you never know. I might hear something. I mean, it's only been a couple of days.
Yes. Well,
maybe I've got the right look.
It isn't like you to blow lines, but I only remember one other time that I really fluffed my lines. And coincidentally, it was the last time I had an audition for an actual show as opposed to an ad.
Right.
I don't know if the two are connected from 4 years ago or 5 years ago or actually maybe 6 years ago, whatever that was. But ever since then, never got any more auditions for like TV series and stuff. It was always just ads.
Yeah.
Kind of weird. Just a weird coincidence, I guess. But yeah, I remember that. And basically what happened there is the dialogue was so bad. Like I really tried to remember it, and I sort of did. But the words made so little sense as sentences that I was constantly being tripped up by them, because I'm like, I'm saying this backwards, or no one would ever say that, or whatever. And so when it came to the time and I was like, yeah, so blah blah blah, no, just a second, I've got it. Okay. Actually, I just need to have a little look at my script. Oh, you don't know your line? Do you mean to tell me that you haven't learnt your lines? Oh no, I have learnt them. I've learnt them, and but it's just because the sentence structure is a little. Just give me 1 second. Just give me 1 second. I quickly pull out the script from my back pocket and have a little look, and then fucking fluff my way through that. Was my audition. Shall we say it did not go well?
Well, this one was for an ad.
But I can't believe I was accused of not learning my lines. I'd learned them, all right?
There's that funny thing where...
I fucking just didn't remember.
I learned them. I just had a mind blank.
Yeah.
And apparently in America, they don't really expect you to... Like, it's fine to read off the script.
Yeah.
A lot more in America. You show up and you just read off the script. It's a bit tricky
when you're doing...
100 a day.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but over here, it's more like, yeah, you got to know your lines. They're kind of sticklers for that.
To be honest, like these days with auditions, I'm quite happy when there's no lines to learn.
Yeah.
I'm like, yes, I can really put minimal effort into this.
Yeah, I used to always get very, very excited about getting auditions, but now there's a certain sense of dread that comes alongside them as well, because it's like, oh crap, I'm between now and sometime very soon, I'm gonna have to put in heaps of work to learn heaps of all of this stuff properly, and show up on time and do all of that stuff, and then 99% of the time I won't get it anyway.
Also, yeah, I mean, in your defense, you've actually really had to learn some humdingers. And your
this was quite a tough one,
and like lots of your auditions have actually been quite wordy. To be so.
Well, this one was quite wordy, and there was like the director was like, okay, so just imagine that I'm the crowd and I'm like talking to a crowd, and then he like stood up and looked at me over the camera, so he was just kind of watching me like he was the audience, like the director was being an extra sort of thing, and I just found it really distracting. So I kept on fucking up because of that too.
Right.
Yeah.
Good one, whoever that director was.
Well, we haven't heard anything yet, so let's not say anything we're going to regret. Yeah. So what else?
Well, I think we should probably quickly dive into an episode of Who's Dead this week.
Oh no, I didn't even hear about this one.
And really what I should say is who's dead in the last 6 to 8 weeks.
Okay.
Because basically we podcasters are a little bit sporadic at the moment, and we keep missing the weeks where people are dead, which is not ideal to pay tribute to them. And then by the time our podcast comes around, someone new has died. And then it's like, well, do we talk about the old person who died, or do we talk about the new person who died? Because everyone's dying. What do we do? But Star Wars producer Gary Kurtz.
Oh man, we're really scraping the bottom of the barrel now, huh? This is not an iconic figure. Some obscure producer from an old movie.
So there you go, the family of Gary Kurtz. If you could pass on our best wishes.
Condolences.
That's Harley's opinion of your father or grandfather's contribution to this great film lineage and industry. Who the fuck? What the fuck are we talking about him? Fuck's sake!
I'm sorry.
I'll just give a little. The beauty of this one, Harley, is you don't have to do any quotes because he was a producer. He was an actor, so you don't have to do any research on this.
All right.
But I will just quickly carry. So Gary Kurtz was the producer for Star Wars and Empire Strikes Back, but not Return of the Jedi or any of the new ones. And the reason was that he allegedly had quite a big falling out with George Lucas over the making of Empire Strikes Back. So basically what happened on Star Wars is they're both these young guys in it together sort of thing, and it was all good, and things did go over budget, and things did become a huge disaster. There were sandstorms, and the crew were mutinous, and it was a fucking miserable time for old George. And through this horrible experience, this beautiful diamond was made through all this controversy and pressure and difficulty. Thank you. That's what I was looking for. But they came out with Star Wars, so all good. But then of course the next time George Lucas is like, fuck all of that, I ain't doing that anymore. I'm not dealing with any of that bullshit, because now I'm the fucking man and you will all bow down to me. And so his plan was to avoid sort of the studio telling him this or telling him that. He's like, fuck all you motherfuckers. I am going to self-finance this through the money I made off Star Wars. So you will distribute it, but I will bankroll it and you will not fuck with it. And that's just the way it's going to be. And so that was his plan, and that's what he did. But what happened is that in Empire Strikes Back, they went so over budget that he had to ask for a loan from the studio that was releasing it, so he sort of ended up in the position he didn't want to be, which was kind of going with his hand out to these people and not having that complete autonomy that he wanted. And a lot of that blame fell on Gary Kurtz, because he felt that Gary was not pushing the director, Irvin Kershner, along enough, and sort of like, all the days were going over, everything was taking too long, he was fucking around too long on the line. He's like, why are you doing, like George Lucas, he's like, why are you doing all this moody lighting? Just fucking shoot it. Like, the 3 cameras, get 3 cameras in there. Like, he was not necessarily thinking very artistically at that point. And so they kind of had a falling out with that, and he didn't ask him back for Return of the Jedi, and they kind of soured on their relationship. But conversely to that, a lot of people say that it was Gary Kurtz's influence on those first 2 films which made them so good, because he would push back against George, and he would go, no, George, we do need the moody lighting, because Darth Vader needs to be a scary character, and he's fighting Luke Skywalker. It's kind of a big climax. We kind of got to take our time with it. And so, what we see is, like, from Return of the Jedi onwards, things may be declining a little bit in terms of quality. Many attribute to no producer like that. They're kind of busting George's balls and sort of pushing back on things. And so, Empire Strikes Back was the greatest Star Wars film, in my opinion. What about you? Your thoughts?
The first three kind of blur into one for me.
Okay, great.
But they were good. I'd have to go with the classics.
Thank you for that. Thank you for your contribution, Harley, to this film criticism. So anyway, yes, so that's why. So R.I.P. Gary Kurtz. Play the Star Wars music.
Oh, shit. You're going to make me play the Star Wars music?
Okay, second Who's Dead this week.
Oh,
Quick
shit.
fire.
What's the time code? Yeah, go on.
Burt Reynolds. And let that sink in a little bit. Burt Reynolds, as Harley types in these time codes.
Don't tell them about what's happening behind the curtain, man.
What do you remember about Burt Reynolds?
That mustache.
Right?
The Mo.
The Mo.
The Mo.
The
Yep.
Mo. The
He
Mo.
was Magnum PI, wasn't he?
No. No. That's Tom Selleck, who is still very much alive.
Does he have a mustache?
Yes, he does.
Oh, well, that's a fair mistake to make.
Well, you know also who had a fucking mustache, Harley? Hitler. Hitler had a mustache.
Well, no. I'd recognise Hitler.
So anyway, Burt Reynolds also passed away recently. Not this week. Yeah, a couple weeks back. Who's counting? It's still fucking sad because that's the guy that was around. You know, that is the guy, like, you know, those fixtures where you're like, I don't actually, you know, for us, I don't think, did you see Smokey and the Bandit?
No.
Me neither. Cannonball Run?
No.
Me neither. So I'm only familiar with Burt Reynolds from just being around as Burt Reynolds, and also, of course, the classic, one of the ultimates, which I believe you have seen. Do you want to take a guess?
Is it a TV show or a movie?
Movie.
Oh, I don't think I've ever seen a movie with him in it.
Deliverance.
Oh, I have seen that. Yeah, I did. That's probably the only one I've seen with him in it, but it was good.
I think you've seen one other one he's been in.
What was that?
A little classic known as Striptease with Demi Moore.
Oh, I don't know. I don't actually know if I've seen that.
You go,
film.
I've only seen a few sections of that.
I think I've just fast forwarded through to specific parts of that one.
Specific parts, yeah. As we all did as youths. As youths.
I don't remember the story.
Just let's get to Demi Moore doing the dances, please. Thank you. Burt Reynolds was in that.
Right.
But anyway, Deliverance, which I highly recommend, and this is a note for my tag team partner who may or may not be listening right now, but will eventually be listening. Deliverance. That's the next film for you to watch, my friend. Great film. Still holds up. Watched it a couple of years ago. Great stuff. Scary shit, man.
It is a good film.
And it's kind of, that's the origin of, like, basically, you bump into some hicks in the middle of nowhere and they're fucking insane. Like, that's the origin of that, which has been now done 5 bazillion times. Wrong Turn, 1 to 6.
Harrow.
They don't meet a country bumpkin out in the middle of nowhere.
Well, they're sort of, I don't know, out in the country and there's crazy people.
It's a ghost.
Well, they were people first.
Yeah, they weren't country.
They were crazy people first.
They weren't country bumpkins.
Yeah, well, they weren't
so
bumpkins.
different.
Yeah, all right.
Speaking of Harrow,
you can go watch it. You go to watchme.co.nz. You can watch the whole series.
Or you can
search Harrow.
Or you can wait and watch the good version,
which Guy has been slaving over.
Which
with a 5150 listener, Ben Fowler.
Ben,
shout out Ben.
In fact,
Ben.
I've got to message him on Facebook and go, hey mate, how's those final exports coming?
Yeah.
Because we have our sort of final version locked in, and now
it's the short film cut of the web series.
The short long film cut of the web series.
Yeah.
Hopefully coming to a horror film festival near you, or not near you because there's no horror film festivals in New Zealand. But if you're an international listener, then maybe near you.
Oh, actually, speaking of international horror festivals, Stephen Baker's film, The Predicament, which I acted in recently, has been accepted into Fright Fest in London, which is a big one. It's a
big acceptance.
Yep, big film, big festival to get into, and so I'm in that. The setting is 3 people trapped in a car, surrounded by zombies, and they've lost the keys.
Now, are you gonna mention anything about your character?
No, I hadn't planned on it.
Well, he's a bit of a fucking dipshit.
Well, we'll let the listeners decide when they finally view it one day. It will come out somewhere eventually.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's in Fright Fest, which is a big one in London. So that's pretty fucking excellent. So congratulations to Stephen. And if only I could justify a trip to London just to support it, just to go along. It'll be a great excuse to do a bit of travel. But it's just quite far. It's quite far from here. I heard somewhere that Dunedin and London are as far apart from each other as you can possibly get on Earth before they start becoming closer to each other again.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind
we're
going
from
back
Dunedin.
to London. We'll have to save that one for the older fest.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
What else you got, mate?
Might be my only excuse, though, to go to London or go to Europe. I've never been to Europe. So,
I don't know.
See if we can do it.
Harrow.
Okay. What else you got there?
I just asked you, but okay.
All right. Well, Guy said that he said he had heaps of stuff.
Oh,
So
you
I was
want
like,
me- okay, first, okay.
Sweet, Guy can lead the charge on this one.
Let me charge forth into the abyss.
Okay.
So I picked up a interesting character. Now, I'm an Uber driver. I drive Uber. That's sometimes what I do. I do that part-time. I mostly do it on the weekends. So, obviously, I'm going to be picking up more peculiar individuals than if I was driving during the day, a regular 9 to 5. I'm picking up lawyers and people like that. But no, so obviously it's all people because everyone goes out. So, anyway, I picked up this gentleman on Sunday night. And... I started chatting with him as I do to these people, and I was like, so, cool, man, like, what are you doing? You studying? He goes, oh, yeah, man, I'm doing a bit of study. And I was like, cool. I was like, well, what are you going to do? He's like, oh, well, I was interested in, medical, became a psychologist, blah, 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 understanding the body and the mind. And I was like, yeah, cool. And he goes, but then, man, I got onto energies.
Oh, dear.
And I was like, oh, yeah, what do you mean energy? Like, protons and electrons and all that sort of thing.
Is that what you said?
Yeah, basically. I was like science, right?
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, yeah, man, well,
it's science.
You've got that level of energy, so you've got the astral plane, right? And I was like, yeah, okay, astral plane. It's like galaxies and shit. I'm with you on that.
The plane on which galaxies sit, all right?
Astral plane, fine. He's like, then you got the ethereal plane. I was like, ooh. Okay.
What did this guy look like?
And the karmic plane. Okay. And I was like, alrighty. Okay, I see where this is going. He goes, so if you think about it, everything is just energy, but exchanged back and forth and taken on different forms, which is actually kind of true.
Well, that's fine. That's true.
That's kind of science intermingled with what is to come.
Yeah. So that bit's true.
So anyway, and then he sort of asked me about myself. I said I was a filmmaker. Oh, that's cool, man. That's cool. And he was like, yeah. He's like, no, I've just been really trying to educate myself and, really do some learning because there's all this information out there, but, they don't want you to know it. They don't want you to look because we're on a pyramid scheme, right? And so you've got the successful 1% at the top, and then you've got people lower, and no one wants you to go up a level on the pyramid, right? And I was like, yeah.
Again, I don't mind that analogy. It's pretty good.
Okay, yep, sure, yeah, cool. And he was like, yeah, so but the more I see about the world, the more my mind is open, So it took me to some really dark places, man. Took me to some, serious depression. And I was like, oh, cool. Well, okay, that doesn't sound good. How do you mean? Like, he's like, oh, well, will you just understand how the world works and how we've all, got our eyes sort of closed and we don't see what's really going on. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, well, what is going on then? What's going on? We got 20 minutes. This is quite a long ride. I'm taking you out to Titirangi. So what the fuck is going on here? Open my mind, please. He goes, well, The Matrix. And I was like, the movie. Bullet time. Neo. Keanu Reeves. Whoa. I'm with you. He was like, yeah, but like that whole red pill, blue pill, man, which would you take? And I was like, well, look, to be honest, I'm quite cool in my safe little bubble, but I would probably take whatever pill the one is that wakes you up, because I'd just be curious to know, because sometimes I do feel like we're in the Matrix. Sometimes I feel like we're in a video game. Sometimes there's things that make me go, shit, this is too weird to not be a construct.
We are definitely in a video game, and you are definitely an NPC.
There you go. That's Harley's take on it. So I was like, so cool, man. Give me whatever the pill is, the one that wakes you up. He's, oh, cool, man. Cool. And he was like, yeah, well, and I was like, so what have you been finding out? Like, what? He goes, well, the Illuminati, right? And I was like,
oh dear.
And I was like, yeah, the Illuminati, the secret society. He goes, yeah, well, they've been kind of diminished because, we talk about them, we joke about them. I was obviously thinking about The Simpsons. What was The Simpsons?
The
hammer something, or I can't remember.
Yeah, stone breakers or
yeah.
stonemasons. No,
stonemasons.
The stonemasons is the real one.
Oh right.
I remember, but I don't remember.
But anyways, like so actually, he was like, actually, there's the governments, but then above the governments is these families, the Rockefellers. The someone else's. And I was like, cool. Look, that is actually, that could be these super powerful, rich, elite families could be influencing, the respective countries that they're in. I could go on board with that, right? That's okay. That is at least plausible to me. Okay? And then he goes, but then it goes deeper, man. It goes way deeper than that, because above them is those families negotiating and working with these half-human, half-reptile people.
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard about the reptilians.
And that, obviously, is when I was like, alrighty.
Yeah.
There was some dubious stuff in here. There was some questionable stuff. But I was along for the ride. But now you brought up half human, half reptile that are negotiating with these top families. Why are they? It goes, they're not necessarily aliens, man. They're just like these half human, half reptiles. And I was like, cool, okay. Well, I'm not obviously going to go to like, you're fucking full of shit in the middle of this trip. Don't want to one-star motherfucker myself.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, cool. So how did you come by this information?
Yeah.
How did you? He goes, oh, well, YouTube.
That is so bad.
And I was like, always a good source. He goes, but I've been reading a lot of books on the stuff. He goes, but the thing is, a lot of them, they're not even books. They're actually collections of articles and manifestos, because they don't want this information out there, so they can't print it. So you've got to collect it from all these different places online. And I was like, yep, yeah, you got to do that. He goes, also psychedelic drugs. And I go, yeah.
Let me guess, you like them?
Yeah. He goes, yeah, man. He goes, do you try? I was like, look, I've had salvia. Didn't really. He goes, I recommend shrooms.
I recommend shrooms too.
I was like, cool. But you can just see it's the escalation levels here. It starts off, but he was like, yeah, I've lost a lot of friends. And I was like, no shit, you've lost a lot of friends. You picture these half reptile people as this thing, and you're walking around going, your eyes are closed, man. You're all shit.
What did he look like? Was he like a hippy dippy dreadlock type?
No, he looked relatively normal. It's only the words coming out of his mouth that were not normal. And then also the fact that he would be like, yeah, so actually these secret societies. What do you think about that, man? And then it'd be like, and the half human, half reptile. Yeah, what do you think about that?
Well, this guy sounds very insane.
Oh, honestly, the laughter. I was like, actually, I'm not often scared in my car, but now I'm kind of scared because, well, what if he turned on me?
Yeah.
What if he just?
Well,
turned on me?
would you have him in a scrap?
I'd put him in I'd put his I'd put him to sleep.
Yeah.
Put him in the go to sleep.
Right.
So I'm not
Use
too
all that
worried.
wrestle training.
Yeah,
take him out.
Yeah, take him out. Crossface chicken wing. He'd be
Yeah.
done.
Mm.
Big boot, leg drop, throw him into the ropes, clothesline, big boot, leg drop, done. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, just like that.
So anyway, but yeah, it was just the escalation to the half reptiles and the psychedelic drugs. You could just see where it was all going, and also the loss of all his friends because he's crazy now. And he's drug fucked. And I think that's an important thing to acknowledge here.
Yeah.
He was drug fucked.
Mm.
So anyway, but I was like, okay, so if I want to start on this journey, like if I want to start, where do I start? You know, is there a book I can pick up from the library? You know, what do we got
You were
here?
really delving.
Oh, of course. Well, I had nothing else to do.
Yeah.
I was either going to talk to him or not talking to him, and I was like,
I would have tried to peter that conversation out.
see, not me, because I was thinking about the podcast.
Yeah.
So he,
okay.
he was like,
It was for the Sifty 150.
yeah. So anyway, the book he recommended was The Law of Attraction. You heard of that?
No.
No, me neither. I mean, I've heard of it, you know,
But
obviously, relatively speaking. I haven't heard of this
Yeah, like
specific book.
this idea that what you think positively about you'll manifest.
I don't know. But anyways, like, yeah, start with that book. And I was like, cool, okay, I will. Thank you. Get out of my car now. We've
Yeah.
actually stopped and this conversation has continued and you've
It's
stayed in
now
this
costing
car.
me money
Yes.
and lost wages.
But he said the laws of attraction. But he did leave me with one thing that I actually kind of thought was all right.
Yeah.
And he goes, yeah, but you know, the secret to everything is unconditional love, man.
Oh, what a cop out.
You gotta put it out. Unconditional love. You gotta love your enemy as well as your friends. But if you put out that unconditional love, and if you're willing to do that as an adult, good things will happen to you. And I actually think, look, we could put a bit of unconditional love out there. There's nothing wrong with doing that. So I don't think it's going to solve the world, and I don't think that it's going to, you know, we're going to escape the clutches of these half reptile people at the top. But I think that unconditional love, yeah, I'm on board with that.
Sure, but it's just such a common piece of hippie advice, you know. It's far from profound. Hey, the secret, it's love.
Yeah, I didn't say it was profound.
Oh.
I mean, this guy is not, clearly, he's off his fucking rocker.
Hey, it was the Stone Cutters, by the way, on the
The
Simpsons.
Stone Cutters.
Yep.
But I just thought that was so that was like, that's just one of my trips.
Mm.
And to be honest, I have stories like this all the time. I just fucking forget them because crazy shit happens in my Uber so often.
Yeah. You gotta write them down.
That it just doesn't really become, like, it's no longer interesting to me. But the half reptile people, I was like, wow, where do you even get info like that? Like, who provides the half reptile people info? Is there photos of the half reptile people, like shaking hands with Donald Trump?
Yeah.
You know, like doctored? Is it like Bigfoot, where we see like a half reptile person like walking through the bush and like we zoom in on his butt? Like, what is, where, how did he get there? Shrooms. Shrooms is the answer.
And the issue.
Yeah. And a problem affecting some people.
But that's why it's so scary that all these crazy things like flat earth and all that are coming up, because there's all these gullible / crazy people out there that just believe any old crazy old thing.
Yeah. And I mean, I think it also certainly, like, I mean,
They used to be like just the town loony, you know, they were just the town loony.
Yeah.
But now they've all connected
they can,
online.
Yeah, they
they're
can kind of band together and
they're a goggle of clowns.
and they can kind of believe because they've got other people. Yeah, well, it also reminds me of a time that my ex-girlfriend 6 times removed or
Jesus
5 times removed.
Christ.
One of the times removed, 5 or 6 times removed, right?
Okay.
She was hey, I want you to watch this documentary with me. And it's all about like sun cycles and moon cycles and like how it's all connected to the universe and what things happen in your star sign and my star sign. And I watched it with her.
Yeah. And
I had a big argument with her afterwards because I was like, this is fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
And she was like, what? You're not even going to have like an open mind to it? And I was like, no, I'm not going to have a fucking open mind to it, because what you're watching in this documentary is people making statements without any factual evidence. and then just leaving that statement to sit and resonate with you, and you go, oh, well, it must be true. As opposed to, if you wanted to prove this, you would have people quoting fucking science at you that backed up this shit, or experts in the field, not just these fucking random people that just scientist. This guy says this thing.
Yeah.
And so I had a big argument with that. I also had another big argument about loose change with someone. Could have even been Hamish, our friend Hamish.
Yeah.
Yeah, so loose change is about 9/11 being like an inside job.
Right. Oh, yeah.
And in fact, they've had to amend it multiple times online because it's a free documentary made by a crazy conspiracist.
Yeah.
Now, what happened is they released it and everyone goes, whoa, yeah, it's true, right? And then a whole bunch of scientists and people came forward and were going, oh, hang on, let us just poke holes in all these things. So then they re-released it, omitting those things.
Yeah.
And then scientists came along, did the same thing. And then they re-released it. So that it's got to like the 4th iteration now of this thing. But anyway, it's also fucking nonsense. But anyway, look out for the reptile people. That's all I'm saying. Because they're controlling the banks, the economies, and everything else.
Food
for thought.
Food for thought.
I mean, you got more? I mean, I've got more.
Mate, delve in.
Okay, so quick movie review. Now, I haven't been to see a movie in fucking forever. In fact,
I saw a movie.
This is the first movie I've seen in like, I don't know, a month or more, which as a filmmaker is terrible. But you know, it's just the way it is right now. I'm working. I got responsibilities, paying bills. So the movie in question, Halloween. Again, this is like the fucking third version of Halloween called Halloween. There's the original Halloween. There's the shitty, terrible abomination that is the Rob Zombie remake of Halloween. And now there's this one, which is the sequel to the original Halloween, forgetting all the remakes and the sequels up until this point, Halloween. And it's still just called Halloween. You can't, there's too many Halloweens. If I Google Halloween...
Yeah, well, how are you going to
which
find... How do you know
Halloween
which one?
Oh, Halloween, I just got to go Halloween 2018.
You'll just go to the newest one, I guess.
But anyway, so it was essentially, which was quite cool, is basically it was a sequel to the original Halloween, which was made in like 1968 or 69 or something like that, and kind of invented the slasher movie. Halloween, we've talked about it in our top 5 horror movies of all time. If you don't remember that episode, because it was like episode number 5, Harley doesn't remember that episode. It was like episode number... The only reason I remember this episode is because I listened to it for some reason. It's on my computer, so I've listened to it a few times.
Yeah.
But where we list our favorite horror films, and Halloween is one of mine.
Yeah.
And this is kind of paying loving tribute to that. It's not shitting the bed. It is quite scary. It doesn't reinvent the wheel, but it kind of brings Michael Myers as a character back to where he should be. Not goofy, not silly. Busta Rhymes Busta Rhymes is nowhere to be seen in this film.
Mm-hmm.
There's no Busta Rhymes. There's just no silly shenanigans. Also, it is quite interesting because, you know, as a Halloween enthusiast, I've seen all the Halloweens, right? And so the idea that someone just comes along after literally like 10 Halloweens and goes, nah, fuck all those Halloweens. Fuck them all. We're just making a new one that follows on from there. And everyone like me, you, no one goes, oh, hang on a second. That's not canon. Right, hang on a tick. What about we paid money for those Halloweens? Now you're saying that they're bullshit? We've been ripped off. You have to continue from the end. Like also the very idea that they're
superhero movies do it all the time.
But also that they're ignoring so much of the Halloween like legacy and franchise. They're literally ignoring the remakes of Halloween. They're saying that when there was Halloween and then we made like 8 Halloweens and then when we remade Halloween, Fuck all those Halloweens. Fuck them all. If you paid for those, you're a fucking idiot. Because this is the only Halloween left. This is the only Halloween to watch. We're sorry that you watched all those.
And is it made by the original filmmakers?
Well, they're executive produced by the original. So,
Okay.
New set of people, but obviously wanting
endorsed by them.
Yeah, exactly. But just the idea that like, no, you wasted all your money on those Halloweens. They mean nothing. Here you go. 40 years later, here's the real Halloween.
I like it. I think it's good when a series of stuff get a bit of a reboot sometimes, I think, because they start getting a bit silly.
Yes.
After the third one is always silly. Third one onwards, always silly. You might get one good sequel.
In this case, the silly Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, which did not feature Michael Myers, and it was basically about these toys sort of brainwashing people. Lucky Charms or something. It was pretty amazing. I highly recommend watching Halloween 3, but not for the... And basically, I don't want to give too much away, but it features robots. Robots are in it.
All right.
But disguised
as... If I ever go back and watch that
humor.
20-year-old movie.
Halloween... No, well, it's more like 30 years old.
I was going to say 30.
Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. It's great value. It's also very memorable for a kid being killed horrifically in front of his parents, which obviously they don't do anymore.
Really?
No, sadly.
Yeah.
Need to see more wish fulfillment in movies, don't we?
Yeah.
But yeah, so this is the Halloween. So if you want to have a Halloween for laughs, then Halloween 3 is a goodie. But if you want to see a Halloween that's just a good Halloween, I recommend this new Halloween and check it out.
Well, I probably won't, to be honest.
I did invite you.
Yeah, and I said no.
And you said, fuck that.
I said, fuck that.
And I was like, that's so cool. I was like, okay,
opening
cool.
night screening of
yeah,
it.
this is cool. Last time I invited my friend anyway.
And I was like, is this going to be a thing where it's like cool to be seen at, or is this just a screening? Or is it something special?
And I was like, it's just a screening of potentially a good film with your good friend, who you don't see very often at all and has no spare time, but he has some spare time now and he's offering you a free movie ticket and it's a very exclusive screening that not many people get to see. And you're like, nah, fuck that fucking bullshit. Fuck you. Should I be seen there?
Yeah.
Is this something that could be any celebs? No, just
me.
your best mate. Nah, fuck, not interested.
No, I believe I did have something else to do that night. If I'm not mistaken.
Fucking fapping is not counted, mate.
No, it was something important. And fapping, not to say fapping is not important. Yes, well, I saw a movie called Believer. A feature film called Believer, and it's a new Korean film. It's like an action sort of drug drama.
Not to be confused with Beliebers, who are Justin Bieber fans.
It's a whole other doco. Believer is good though. Go check it out if you get the chance. It's just come out. I don't know where it's screening.
What's it about?
It's about like a cop. Don't make me explain what it's about. It's about a cop chasing
a broad strokes,
it's
man.
A cop chasing like criminals for drugs. I'm never good at it when you go explain what it's about. I'm never ever good at summarizing.
I don't agree with that.
That doesn't make it sound very good.
That.
It doesn't make it sound very good, but it was like a good action buddy drama drug film. Lots of twists and turns and so on. Now, I've just finished working on a festival, pretty sweet opportunity, which I got to travel all around the country. Basically, my job was to hang out with cool international filmmakers and go to cool networking events for New Zealand's coolest film festival.
Well, don't forget drink beer.
Oh, I drank lots of wine, actually. Lots of wine, mostly.
More wine than beer.
Yeah, there's a lot of free wine around. But it was great. I was seen at all the cool places, and I learned lots as well. As the guest and event coordinator, it was a temporary contract, which I'm finished now, but really good, great experience. Going to be good for my producing. Hopefully it'll make me more organised, because I could do with some organisation.
You sure could.
Tidying up.
So you mentioned that you didn't dip into the the list of older producing things to do.
The stuff that guys allocated me a bunch of things to do.
I spent a huge amount of time drafted up this list and also compiling all the info that I had into this folder, shared it all online. Harley was noodling about on his iPad out in the fucking beer garden out the back of our flat. And he's like, yeah, I didn't have a look at that.
Now,
I didn't dip into
firstly,
that. I'm working on the block. I'm working on the block application.
Yes, it was work related. I was working on my application for the Block NZ, a reality show about building. And we all know how much I like building.
We all know
how important building is to me. No, the thing is, though, it is super important because the year that I've been on the shortlist twice for the Block NZ. The first time I was on the shortlist, I was on the shortlist with my ex-girlfriend, Angie, and we went in and did the audition and all that stuff. And then the team that came last that year, that earned the least money, got $100,000 for their 12 weeks on the show, which is not bad. It's $50,000 each for being on that show. So, not to mention any advertising gigs they might land, which obviously, if I got on, I'd hustle straight away for advertising gigs. You'd see me bloody selling fucking pies from the gas station. I'd be like, hey guys, make sure you stop by Z on your way to the hardware store. Get yourself a pie when you're off to buy a spanner, you know. Better living, everybody. Or whatever. You know, I'd be on top of all of that shit. So, anyway. I am applying a game with my good friend Bevan Reed, who's also a Sifty 150 listener. Shout out to Bevan.
Shout out to Bevan.
I've been working on my answers all day, and I've just got to kind of put them into the document and tidy them up and send it off. So it was very important, and I will get around to the older stuff.
Or you get around to delegating the older stuff.
I'll get around to seeing if I can convince my friend Tanya another friend Leisha to help us.
And my girlfriend, Titsya.
Yeah, to see if we can get these organised.
Everyone else can do these things that we can't do. Look, we're
the creative talents, you know? It's different. We're not admin people.
Well,
we're the artists.
That's the excuse we hide behind. But I will say that, honestly, like, organising and that's, it is actually one of our great weaknesses. One of our huge holes in our defenses that expose us, you know, because really we could have done a lot of these things. We've had 5 years, and we could have done a lot of these things sooner, and we could probably have finished old by now if we'd done a lot of these things. So yes, we
need a more professional workflow is what we need. We need to be a registered business, and then
we are a registered business with older,
right? But as Pigville, as a company that we work through,
right?
We need to be registered and take it all seriously. But what we need is somebody to delegate that organising to.
Speaking of work, though, I also have, but this is my 16th day working in a row, and I'm quite tired.
Yeah,
and I've got to stay up all night, and I'm kind of running on fumes. Unfortunately, I have a beautiful girlfriend, the love of my life, who is in Australia and needs support of the financial variety. Unfortunately, I also am not the best with money. And also I am currently upgrading my film kit to be able to acquire bigger and better jobs, such as the one that I have just picked up through our good friend Will Fleming has hooked me up with some more work through MIT. So I did mention that I do tutoring through there with a lovely kid called William, and now I am going to be shooting a lot of videos for them for 20 to 30 hours a week until December.
Sweet.
And it's quite a substantial amount of money.
Sweet. That's what you want.
So
everything's coming up piggy.
Well, yeah. Apart from the Dominoes incident.
Have you heard
Sort of Dominoes?
How much Dominoes is going to be yet?
Well, yes. I am fortunate that my excess will only be $500.
Okay.
As opposed to $1,000.
Right. And how much was the extent of the damage? How much was the total?
I don't know.
Price of the damage?
I don't really know.
Yeah.
They messaged me and said it was over $1,000 just to replace the glass. So.
Yeah.
I'm assuming more than that.
Right.
Yeah, so they that's happened. So I'm slowly recovering from the Sword of Dominoes, and I would quite like to give a quick shout out to my boss, Will, the godfather of the comms room, who listens to this apparently, which I did not realize.
Man, you're in so much trouble.
Only if he went back a few episodes.
I hope he's not listening now.
I'm sure he is. But even if he did, it would really be relating to my former boss, Carwin, he's gone.
He's giving names.
He's been freaking 86. Yeah. He's out of here.
Yeah.
He's see you later, mate. And all you got to do is just... but I just got to remember that.
How did he find it?
Oh, I think because he's my friend on Facebook. I think he's my friend on Facebook, just saw it there. And he actually follows.
That's what you get when you're friends with your boss, man.
Look, Will's a lovely dude. He gave me an extra couple of shifts to help with the Sword of Dominoes hanging over my head, so I greatly appreciate that. And he's a great guy. So, and I also shout out to a new Sifty 150 listener, Tobias, who is also part of the security family. Who I just put him on, and he was like, "Oh man, the podcast, amazing! The Sword of Dominoes, brilliant!" And I said, "Well, stay tuned, mate, because we're gonna have something coming up tomorrow, probably." And he goes, "Oh, I'm gonna listen to it." He's like, "I'm traveling down to Gisborne. I'm gonna download a bunch." So we've acquired a new fan, a lifelong fan.
Great.
So thank you to you both for listening.
Well, I better shout out Anu watching on the live stream, and also shout out to Kieran Charnock, who is the star of the movie Stray, and he was also in a film called Stranger, which did very well in the Show Me Shorts film festival, and another one he acted in. Another one as well, which name escapes me, and he co-directed one. And everything he's touching is turning to gold. He's an actor from Wellington, and he's a listener to the podcast, and he's a big. He really appreciates the project, our old web series. He loves it. He loves it very much. And I had a quote from him in which he called us the last great nights of comedy.
It's true. We are.
He said he was surprised that we didn't have way more views and we weren't on TV, and
he was surprised by what losers we were.
Basically, he was surprised to see what absolute unknowns we are.
He was like, I really thought you guys would have done better by now. And look, that's valid. But yeah, shout out to him, and also Stray, which has been getting amazing 5-star reviews everywhere.
Yeah. And
this movie, and I wish I could remember the name of the short which he was in. He was nominated, I think, for Best Actor in it.
So I think was Stranger the one that he...
So that must have been the one he co-directed.
He co-directed, yeah.
And the other one was called... I feel like it was called Cleaver or something
Cleaver. Yeah, it was called Cleaver.
And anyway, just a wonderful performance. Again, sort of the subtleties and nuances of acting without dialogue, which is always what I find, if you notice in all our stuff, we talk a lot. You know why? Because it's really hard to convey emotion without talking. It's really hard to do that acting with your eyes and stuff. It's really a problem sometimes.
Yeah.
So we just say the words and then you understand what we're feeling because we say our feelings.
Yeah. It's easier.
It's much easier. So that's what we like to do. Different strokes, different approaches.
Or personally, I just rely on Guy to
edit I basically
so that I look good.
I edit out any time that he does some shit acting. I just edit it out.
Yeah.
So what you're left with is the good acting.
Yeah. Stitched together from several different takes.
From all the takes, all 10 takes.
Yeah.
And then
one word at a time. Sometimes.
Sometimes one word at a time. And that's very laborious work. That's taken many hours of my life.
But it's all worth it in the end.
It's all worth it in the end because, Kieran is a fan of my work. And so, I think we're going to formally extend him the amazing opportunity, the opportunity of a lifetime to participate in the project season 2, which is currently in development. development, in writing development at the moment. Just believe I just sent you through some outlines on that.
Yeah, I haven't looked at those.
Haven't looked at those either.
Haven't opened that doc.
That's all right. I'm at the moment, like I'm doing so much work at the moment that I don't have time to do more work on top of my work right now. I'm all worked out, and to be honest, it's gonna be. I think I'm looking at maybe Saturday being my next day off. Maybe Saturday, Sunday, which is going to bring me up to 20, 21 days on the trot, which is the sort of the longest that I've worked on anything consistently. Like, that's not a film. So I don't count if I was directing for that period of time. That's fine to work every day. That's not counted. But to work, like, just day jobs or just freelancing nonsense, yeah, well, that's not so cool. I can't get on board with that. But I will also say that I just did Armageddon weekend. My close personal friends, Alex Savage, was in action every day at Armageddon, cracking skulls, taking names with his tag partner Will Stone, and alone when Will Stone was at work or had a birthday dinner with his girlfriend or something. But had a lot of fun, had an awesome time watching my close personal friend Alex Savage, who is not me. We are not the same person, although it sometimes seems that way from the way I talk on this podcast. But I highly recommend if you go to the Armageddon, even if you're just to pervert all the sexy cos in between the fat Spider-Mans, the fat midget Spider-Mans, and the morbidly obese Thors. There are also many beautiful cosplaying women and men.
People.
Women and men. Handsome, muscular young men. and beautiful women dressed as anime characters.
Yes.
So I highly recommend it purely for... And there was Emperor Palpatine, and I really wanted to... Because he was right there, and I wanted to do a little... Oh, I'm afraid we're quite safe from your rebel friends. Yeah. A little kind of trade-off with him.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, sounds like the Emperor when he says, oh, I'm quite afraid. Like, it sounds like he's literally busting a nut as he says that. The relish in his voice.
Yeah.
When he's taunting Luke, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful moment. So anyway, I wanted, because he walked past, but I had to go watch my close personal friend wrestle, so I couldn't take him aside. But there's a lot of weirdos there.
You send me the audio of that clip and I'll put it in. I'll leave the ball in your court on that one. If it's there, listener, then Guy loves you.
I'm afraid we'll be quite safe when your rebel friends arrive or some shit like that.
Now, I did get, when I was driving back one night from the airport to do for the festival, I got a $180 ticket, speeding ticket, I think. So that kind of sucks nuts. It was $120 and then a further $60 for being in a rental.
So do you notice something here?
What?
So I'm noticing this. There's a direct connection between you and I.
Yeah, what's that?
When your fortunes are down, mine are up.
Ah.
And when mine are up, yours are down.
Right.
So you just got the speeding ticket. I just got this job.
Ah. Yeah.
You know, it was before Sword of Dominoes, living large at the Show Me Shorts Fest.
Yeah.
You know.
Mm-hmm.
So you see, it's the pendulum, or what are those two things that weigh
like a seesaw?
Yeah,
a seesaw for tiny little weights.
Scales. Scales. Yeah, the scales of checks and balances, I guess. But I feel like there's anyway. That thing is one skews one way, one skews the other. It's skewing up towards me at the moment. You know, so I'm happy because really it was kind of on a downward thing against me for like most of this year.
Yeah. Well, look, if you would like to contribute to the fund for unfortunate filmmakers, I've got a little link there that we can you can donate to down below there. Say, show us your tips. Otherwise, you can go to PayPal and search for our email address, pigvilleproductions@gmail.com. Otherwise, it's buymeacoffee.com as well if you want to continue supporting us.
Also, just one last note on Kieran Charnock.
Yep.
there is a sequence in this Cleaver film where he does some masturbating, and it was good masturbating. It was. I believed it.
I believe it was inspired by Disgusting Hairy Man, which he saw during the project.
Well, that's the thing, and that's the thing is as great of an actor as he is, I'm afraid that I've got the book written on masturbating in films and older.
Yeah.
I've got that all stitched up, all sewn up. You can't beat my masturbating acting. So yeah, your masturbating acting was very good, Kieran. And I take my hat off to you. But on the same token, you can never top the amount of masturbating acting I do in older. I'm sorry, mate. There'll be many things that you'll always be better at me than, but not masturbation acting. Thank you very much.
Well, Kieran is a big fan of your masturbating scene in the project. He says he laughs until he cries when he watches that, which is the scene where after we turn off the light in episode 3
I wrote the book on
project,
masturbation acting.
Guy masturbates in the dark next to me. It's really cinematic piece. A lot of interesting creative decisions were made there. Like showing the cameraman for the first time, for example, the first and only time.
Yeah.
That was interesting.
Having the whole thing take place in darkness.
In pitch blackness.
No visuals, only audio.
A lot of interesting artistic choices made.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yes, anyway, $180. That sucks.
Cool, man. Well, I mean, we got one more topic, because I gotta go back to fucking work. I gotta fucking go to work.
No, look, I think we'll wrap it up right there. I'm tired.
Me too. Me too.
Life's getting me down.
Me too.
I've been so fucking busy.
You've been up on the high, the buzz, the elation
Yep.
of show me shorts.
Yep.
Of
I was a real Jack the Lad around town.
Of schmoozing. I mean, I saw you walking across the street. Me and Immy the vegan, Immy the vegetarian.
Yeah.
My writing partner. We were going to pitch for this project, right?
Yeah.
And we pulled up at the lights, couple cars ahead of us, and we saw you walking. You had stopped traffic. You were walking across the road with this producer, and the shit-eating grin on your face. It was just something to behold. It was just the hey, all right.
Full nibs. Full nibs.
Giggity goo. Giggity gooing your way all the way in, and I was like, look at him. He fucking loves it. He says he doesn't love. He fucking loves it. This is his realm right here. He fucking loves it.
The schmoozing part of it.
Yeah.
Full nibs.
Yeah.
I had to unleash full nibs for that one to try and wow this producer. She's an American producer that was over for the film festival, and so it was very cool to get to host her.
Yeah. So well, on that note, we best depart.
We'd best. So if you've enjoyed the show, please go and find us on Patreon, patreon.com/Pigville. And please support us on Facebook by hitting like there, facebook.com/Guy and Harley. And that's where I post all the bits and pieces that we talk about as well.
Oh, I'm afraid we'll be quite safe when your rebel friends arrive.
And on that note, thank you very much for listening. Goodbye.
See you later.
Okay. Podcast is finished. And saved. Alright, and now I believe we have literally no Twitch streamers for the entire show, apart from Anu when Anu showed up.
Aww.
But Anu's gone. There's only one, and it's me. I think for the entire show we had nothing.
It's good. We're building our audience.
Building an empire here.
One step at a time.
Alright. Goodbye, streamers.
See you later, guys.